Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Bishop John M. Darcy Stadium in this edition of St. Francis Women's Soccer. This broadcast is brought to you by SummitCitySports.com, and tonight's matchup is between the Cougars of St. Francis and the Indiana Wesleyan Wildcats. This is the conference home opener for the Cougs. They went on the road on Wednesday and were defeated by Taylor. That final score, I believe, was 7-0. Indiana Wesleyan 0-1 in conference play to start this season. They're currently tied for third in the conference. Taylor and Spring Arbor are tied for first. St. Francis currently tied with Bethel for last. But we're only a game into the conference slate, so a lot can happen between now and the end of the conference season. Indiana Wesleyan comes in at 5-2-2 overall. The overall record, that advantage goes to St. Francis. They come in at 7-1-2. The loss to Taylor on Wednesday was their first of the season. Had a great non-con slate going 7-0-2 in that slate, and that started off with an offensive explosion against Defiance College. Well, 4-0 was the final score, if you want to call that an explosion. St. Francis did not score a whole lot of goals last year. They've gone up in that department so far this year. Now, both of these teams, each of their leading scorers have 4 goals on the season. Indiana Wesleyan has 3 players with 4 goals apiece. Sarah Folk, Jackie Norris, and Caitlin Vander Ark are the 2 leading goal scorers for St. Francis. Their leading scorer is Haley Roberson with 4 goals, but she's also got Carly Biddle and Jalen Carroll right behind her in the goal-scoring department. We're going to have the announcement of the starting lineup, so we'll turn it over to our PA announcer for the time being. You're watching St. Francis Women's Soccer. This broadcast, as always, is brought to you by SummitCitySports.com. Well, we're ready for soccer here at Bishop Darcy Stadium. The Cougars taking on the Wildcats of Indiana Wesleyan. St. Francis trying to get their first conference win of the season after going on the road and losing 7-0 at the hands of Taylor. This Indiana Wesleyan team 5-2-2 this season. They were co-champions of the Crossroads League a year ago with Spring Arbor. They've got experience on their side as well. Daniel Seifert, the head coach, is in his 7th season as the Wildcats head coach. Although looking at the starting roster, there's quite a few youngsters in that roster, at least in the upper portion of that roster. You got Avery Sluice, the goalie, along with Anna Pettit, sophomore from Fishers at defenseman. Julia Tiemann is also a sophomore. Alyssa Heyman is a sophomore. But other than that, it's juniors, seniors, and graduate students in the starting rotation for Indiana Wesleyan. And it looks like the Wildcats are going to get the opening kickoff to start this game. A few freshmen starting for St. Francis, meanwhile. Taylor Swigert starts at forward. She's a freshman. Madison Meeks and Haley Wesley also both starting for the Cougars. They are both freshmen. And the goalie, Rachel Bova, is a freshman. Freshman out of Carroll High School. Madison Meeks, who I just mentioned, is also a Carroll graduate. In addition to those, you've got Faith Lewis, a sophomore, and Haley Brenner, and Jalen Carroll, also sophomores, getting the start for the Wildcats. And I beg your pardon, it is the Cougars who will get the kickoff to start this game. And we're underway. Cougs send the ball downfield, but the Wildcats are there. Grace Morris gets a touch. Wildcats look to go the other way. Wildcats wearing the black/gray uniforms. Cougars wearing white, but it's kind of a white with light blue stripes is what the scheme looks like. That's number 18, Morgan Busick with the pass across the field. Cougs take it away. That was Taylor Swigert trying to create an opportunity for St. Francis. That's cleared to the sideline. This throw-in will favor St. Francis. I believe that is Haley Roberson to throw it in. She tends to handle a lot of the throw-ins for the Cougs. That's knocked out. This will be a corner kick off of Indiana Wesleyan. And Courtney Tobin will handle the corner kick this time. Check that. Well, Tobin is over there, but so is Grace Morris. And Morris will put it in play. Cougs look to get something going after the Wesleyan stop there. Little through ball, and Wesleyan is all over that. Little contact there. Morris had a chance at the ball, but instead, Iwu takes over. Wildcats move the ball through traffic. They get this one across midfield. Morris nearly had the takeaway. Wesleyan recovers. Another through ball, and that's taken away. That was Julia Tiemann. Sarah Folk, one of the leading scorers, has it taken away from her. Sarah Folk with 4 goals on the season for Iwu. Swigert pushing along the far side. The freshman out of Leo had Anna Pettit running with her the whole way, and that's knocked out. I think that was Macy Browning who knocked it out. This throw-in will go to St. Francis. We're now in the third minute. No score so far. St. Francis with a couple of good possessions here in the IWU zone. Into the box. The Wildcats clear it for now. Tobin, shot deflected right off the foot of Pettit. Cougs trying to keep it alive. Instead, the Wildcats come away with this one. They get a through ball. St. Francis has a player down there, though. It's knocked out of bounds. That was Jalen Carroll back there defensively for the Cougs. The throw-in will go to Indiana Wesleyan. Morgan Busick with the throw-in. Backwards kick and a chance for Wesleyan. The Cougs get there, and they're able to stop it. Carroll has it taken away. That's Tiemann, Julia Tiemann. Swigert on the far side has Pettit running with her. Swigert trying to get to the ball, kind of slides after the kick, kept alive by Carly Biddle, but that one's rolling to the sideline and it goes out. This will be a goal kick for the Wildcats. Indiana Wesleyan just finished their first conference game of the season on Wednesday against Taylor. Taylor's not too far from Indiana Wesleyan. Of course, they're in different towns. Indiana Wesleyan is in Marion, Indiana. Taylor is in Upland, Indiana. But if you go down Highway 69, you can get off at the same exit to go to either school. It's going south from Fort Wayne. If you want to go to Indiana Wesleyan, you'd have to turn right. You want to go to Taylor, you'll have to turn left. As Rachel Bova is there to scoop that one up. The freshman goalie. It may not necessarily count as a save at this point. So far, neither team has a shot on goal. Avery Sluice waiting on that one. Looked like she kicked it off of Busick. St. Francis comes away with the ball, but not for long. Tobin chases. That ball's going all the way to the end line. Goal kick coming up for St. Francis. Rachel Bova will chase it down. It's been a busy day at St. Francis. They've already had football and volleyball. Of course, the football was here at Bishop Darcy Stadium. Volleyball just ended not too long ago over at Hutzel Athletic Center. This one goes out off of Macy Browning, and it will be a throw-in for St. Francis. Tiemann sends it back. Gets it to Hyman. Little through ball that's cleared for a second. And St. Francis looking to get something going the other way, but instead this ball will slow down and Anna Pettit gets to it. Indiana Wesleyan gets this throw in. Shot deflected. I think that went off of Wesley, if I'm not mistaken. And now the Cougs with a chance. A move to the left. I believe that's Swigert. Got it off. Tobin gets to it, but it's scooped up in the end. Looked like Swigert and Tobin both had chances at that one. We'll keep it right here as Indiana Wesleyan is quick back to the action. No lull there. Of course, stoppages in play, they do happen in soccer, but only on goals scored, timeouts, injury timeouts, and on penalties. A little through ball there, and that's knocked away by Tiemann. Long strike by Morris, and it's through the upright, but not good enough to get the Cougs on the board just yet. It was a good, strong kick. We will take a look at this one while we've got a break in the action. You do see the front end of that kick, and looks like it had just enough to clear the upright. Unfortunately, that's not what she was going for. Good, strong kick by Grace Morris. But the Cougs for now remain off the board. We're in the 10th minute as Indiana Wesleyan looks to get something going the other way. Julie Tillman. Check that, Tiemann. Cougs take it away again. That's Swigert. Swigert pushing off of Pettit. It's out of bounds. Corner kick coming for St. Francis. Morris and Tobin again come over. Probably both going to line up. Morris ended up kicking it in last time. She does so this time to Tobin. Tobin has to slow down. She and Morris continue to exchange passes. That's poked out. Redirected by Roberson. Another shot. Oh, headed out. Another shot. That's wide. That must have been 3 or 4 shots by the Cougars on that one sequence. And a couple of chances to get one in as Wesleyan gets the ball in quick. Did that go off the Wildcats? No, apparently not. Well, here's another look at this last sequence. See how many goals we can detect. There's the shot by Roberson. And then I think that was Tobin who took that second shot that you just saw. One of the Wesleyan defenders got there just in time. Madeline Welker has the ball for Wesleyan. She sends it toward the middle. Little battle there. Grace Russell. Ken Newber wanting a call there. He's going to get one. It's going to go against Wesleyan. Haley Wesley will set it up. Freshman defender from Belmont High School. Her hometown is listed as Fort Wayne, although Belmont is in Decatur. That may simply mean that she was born in Belmont. Born in Fort Wayne, but went to high school at Belmont. Slip of the tongue there, my apologies. Back there is Avery Sluice to scoop up the ball for Indiana Wesleyan. We remain scoreless as Sluice flips that one out to Julia Tiemann. Sophomore out of Bright, Indiana. She went to East Central. Over to Busick. Thirteenth minute here at Darcy Stadium. The Wildcats look to push. They get the ball over to Tiemann. Through ball. Lewis back there defensively, and I think she knocked it off an opponent. She did. It's going to go out. And St. Francis will get this throw in. Morris battles with two defenders, trying to get it through to Tobin. Tobin sends it ahead a little bit too long. She was looking for Swigert. But Iwu takes over. Tiemann across midfield. Little change in direction there. I think that's Jackie Norris. Norris, one of the leading goal scorers for Indiana Wesleyan this season. She's tied with two other Wildcats for 4 goals on the year, and that is the team lead in that category. Just into the box. That ball will roll, and Bova dives on top of it. Wesleyan looked like they had a chance, but Bova puts that to a stop. Little through ball, and that one goes behind the intended target. This will be St. Francis's throw-in as Jalen Carroll gets ready to put it in. Carroll fires to the edge of the box. Ball gets loose again. Carroll gets to it. Has 2 defenders on her. Cougs get another throw-in. We're here in the 16th minute at Bishop Darcy Stadium. Morris, backwards pass. Kept in play by the Wildcats. Roberson gets back off through the legs kick. Shot deflected in the air by Wesley, I believe, and a save in the end for Bova, but give Wesley a lot of credit for stopping that thing. I do believe that was Wesley. We'll take another look at it while we've got a chance. Up, didn't see it there. Ball hung up in the air, but it looked like Wesley was the one who got it. Meanwhile, we get whistles here, and foul appears to have been called against, Indiana Wesleyan. Almost said Grace. Grace College is in a slightly different part of Indiana than Indiana Wesleyan is. It's about an hour or so away from Fort Wayne in the town of Winona Lake, but that's to the west. Indiana Wesleyan is south of Fort Wayne. Low line drive kick into the box. Header clears it for now. Nice move to the right there. I believe that was Alicia Strasser. She finds Sarah Folk. Toward the middle. Cougs get to it. And that pass goes long. It's going out. They were looking for Madison Meeks. But Wesleyan gets the throw in. Out of bounds. Clock has stopped. Do we have an injured player? We have a player down. Trainer comes out to take a look at her. I'm told that that's number 10, Grace Morris. Well, we'll take a brief pause during this injury timeout here on this broadcast of St. Francis Women's Soccer. Well, that's not good news. The golf cart has come out, and it looks like Grace Morris is going to be set on that cart. Well, you could tell that she was clearly in pain. She's not putting any weight on that right leg, and Morris will be looked at by the trainer and certainly hope that her night isn't done, but by the looks of things, it probably is. Adessa Alvarez into the game for St. Francis. Well, I certainly hope a quick recovery for Grace Morris might be in the future. We'll have to wait and see. Throw-in coming here for Busick. Cougs redirected. Welker, shot, saved. That's Bova who scoops it up. Header there by the Wildcats. A little change in direction and a through ball. Cats have a chance. That ball gets loose, and Bova will call off everybody. I believe that was Kendall Glover pushing down the field with a scoring chance for the Wildcats. Anna Pettit got to the ball initially, so too did Macy Browning. This throw-in will be for Indiana Wesleyan. Left-footed strike. Bova's there. She knocks it down and gets the save. Well, Indiana Wesleyan has created a number of opportunities these last few minutes. So far, Bova has been up to the task as we're now in the 19th minute. Backwards header there by Welker. Cougs get the takeaway. Alvarez tries to change gears, and that's knocked out by Folk. And St. Francis will throw it in. Knocked out, and that appears to be off of St. Francis, and it is. Indiana Wesleyan gets the throw in. Oh, the Cougs get a takeaway. Was that Biddle? That might have been Brenner. Knocked out off of St. Francis, and the Cats will get this throw in. Busick across midfield sends it out right to her own bench. That was one of those hit the deck moments, or almost, as a couple of IWU players had that ball come their way. Welker. Pass ahead by Jackie Norris. And that ball's going to go across midfield. Knocked out of bounds by IWU, and this will be a throw-in, knocked out by St. Francis. I thought it was knocked out by IWU. They call it out off of the Cougs instead. Knocked away by the Cougs, but taken over by Folk. Folk finds Welker. Tiemann. Tiemann sends it down midfield. And the Wildcats still have it for now. A takeaway by Norris. Norris shot. She scores. Jackie Norris with goal number 5 on the season. Well, in just a moment, we'll get a look at that goal. Well, now we've got a chance. We'll go ahead and get a look at it as Indiana Wesleyan draws first blood. So a couple of Cougars and Wildcats both battled for it. Norris, a nice through ball, and credit to, I think Folk was the one who made the pass to her, and Norris was just able to sneak it in past Rachel Bova. And the Wildcats have a 1-0 lead. Wildcats were co-champions of the Crossroads League a year ago. Cougars come in with the better overall record. They're 7-1-2. Wildcats come in at 5-2-2. Wesley gets back there. Shot, and that one's going too high. Rachel Bova will handle the goal kick for St. Francis. Bova, one of 2 Carroll Chargers on the St. Francis Cougars this year. The other one is Madison Meeks, the freshman. She's a midfielder. A little change in direction. That's Macy Browning. Has it taken from behind and out of bounds off of Indiana Wesleyan. So St. Francis will get this throw in. Again, that goal by Jackie Norris was her 5th goal of the season. She's now the team leader in goals scored for Indiana Wesleyan. That's going to angle out of bounds, and I think that almost hit head coach Daniel Seifert. Well, if that's not Seifert, it's one of his assistant coaches. Either way, this will be a throw-in for Indiana Wesleyan. Throw-in by Busick. The Wildcats will work it backwards for now. Here's Tiemann. Now Tiemann pushes forward. She sends it over to Sarah Folk. Folk has it knocked away. Madison Meeks with a takeaway there, but then she has it taken away. That looks like it's going to go off Meeks. But did it first, but ultimately it goes out off of, well, that was Meeks, I beg your pardon. Header goes out. Indiana Wesleyan gets this throw in. Busick throws it in. That one's out. Another throw in coming up for the Wildcats. Another throw in by Busick. And they're going to get another one as the Cougs clear that one out. They go for a little through ball, and that's cleared by the Cougars. Well, that was close to being a handball. Backwards to Tiemann. Tiemann comes across midfield. Heyman starts the attack. Deflected, and the Cougs send it the other way. Well, lately, Iwu seems to have controlled the possessions. That started even before they got the goal from Jackie Norris. A little backwards pass to Busick. Busick right at midfield. She'll send it long. And an easy scoop for Bova. Cougars did not win a conference game last year, had a few ties in conference play. Down early in this one to a team that was co-champs of the Crossroads League. Bova sliding in to get that save. Kept in play. And whistles will blow here. And do we have a player down for Indiana Wesleyan? Well, no, not for long. But I think it was a foul called against Carroll, or against St. Francis, I mean. Or check that, against Indiana Wesleyan. Haley Roberson sets it up, and I believe that is Jalen Carroll who's running up, or going to run up to take the kick. Backwards pass by Tiemann. And the Wildcats start their attack. Knocked back the other way by the Cougs. Heyman runs down the ball. Goes for the through ball. Pushing down the field is Norris, the girl who got the only goal so far, and she has a little collision. Cougs unable to keep that one in play. Subs will come in as Indiana Wesleyan has a throw-in coming up. That's number 16, Taylor Archibald. She's from right here in Fort Wayne. She went to Homestead High School, and I can't help but wonder if she might be related to former Homestead football player Jake Archibald. He was a wide receiver, defensive back, and even spent a little time at quarterback for the Spartans. Speaking of football, St. Francis did win today their football game against Madonna. Talk more about that when halftime comes around. Across, off the side of the net. No goal. Wildcats had a chance as we show you our instant replay. I believe that was Aaliyah Denton who took the shot. Low line drive kick. Indiana Wesleyan has been able to control the possessions on the St. Francis side, but the Cougars are going to get a throw in here. We'll see if they can start to change the momentum. Indiana Wesleyan just one tie on their record. St. Francis a loss to Taylor on their conference record. Little through ball, and it's white shirts all over the place. Alvarez sends it ahead. Swigert tries to push toward the ball. It's going to be knocked back toward the goalie Avery Sluice, sophomore out of Adrian, Michigan. Meeks sends it to the middle. Pass goes a little wide, and Indiana Wesleyan takes over. Knocked out by the Cougs. It's going to be a throw-in for the Wildcats. As we enter the 32nd minute, make that the 33rd minute here at Bishop Darcy Stadium. Throw-in goes toward Busick. Busick gets it outside the box. Struck into the box. Gets loose on a header, cleared back out. Right-footed shot, wide left. Another look at this on our St. Francis instant replay. See if we can get a look at who took the shot. I think that's Busick who took the shot. And wide by about a foot or two. Here's Tiemann pushing towards midfield. Mackenzie Minnie. Pass through traffic. Here comes Tiemann. Tries to send it through. And a takeaway from behind by St. Francis. I believe that was Alvarez. And here's Madison Meeks on the near side. Meeks, the cross. Lewis gets back there for St. Francis. Just the second conference game for the Lady Cougs. They'll have two more conference home games coming up after tonight. As this ball gets into the box, it's going to be Avery Sluice all alone to scoop it. And she'll give it a semi-baseball throw out to the far side of the field. Vander Ark chased it down, but it's knocked out by the Cougs. This is Sydney Stott from Valparaiso, Indiana, to throw it in. Cougs initially came away with it. Into the box, and Bova dives to scoop it up. Well, Rachel Bova with a quality night. Even though Indiana Wesleyan has the game's only goal thus far. Oh, there's a takeaway from behind. I think that was Busick who got the takeaway for Iwu. Roberson goes after the ball. She's got it. A defender right on her. Carly Biddle going after it as well, and Biddle knocks it out. This time it'll be a throw-in for the Cougs. Zoe Flora has just checked into the game for St. Francis, and now the Cougs will look to put the ball in play. Back the other way, the Cougs get it. Quick through ball, Biddle in trouble, and Indiana Wesleyan stops the threat. Boy, that was a handball, but it was not called. Wildcats clear it out. Throw in by Alvarez. Long shot, and that's going to be an easy scoop for Avery Sluice. Cougs take over. They go for a through ball. And that's knocked away at the back end. It was Julia Tiemann who knocked it out, but this will be a throw-in for St. Francis. Sounds like Matiah James, the freshman forward from Concordia High School, has checked in. Haley Roberson to throw it in. That's going to bounce behind the goal. Well, you can't throw the ball into the goal, and Sluice knew that one wasn't coming to the goal, but wisely let it go. Sent back toward the middle on that pass by Mackenzie Minnie. A deflection there by Morgan Busick. And Busick sends it up ahead to Minnie. Minnie pushing across. A couple players get tangled up there on the far side. That's going to go out. And I think we're going to have a goal kick for St. Francis. And we are. Kirsten Parker into the game for St. Francis. That's going to be a whistle on Iwu. Haley Roberson sets up the free kick. She's back there along with Kirsten Parker. As we're now inside the 40th minute here at Darcy Stadium. It will be Parker to take the kick. Header into the box. Ball's loose, but Sluice picks it up rather easily. Down the field, and that's cleared back the other way by the Cougs. but the Wildcats still pushing. Looking to add to a 1-0 lead. The ball gets loose, bounces out of the box, and it is kept in by the Wildcats, but not for long. This is going to be a corner kick. It's off of St. Francis. Alicia Strasser to handle the corner kick. Native of Grand Rapids, Michigan. Graduated from Forest Hills Central High School. Header, save, diving save by Bova. Whistles blow. This is going to be a call against St. Francis. And the Wildcats waste no time getting it in. Quick through ball. Tiemann. Sends it back to Heyman. They get the ball up ahead to Archbold, Taylor Archbold, and a chance for the Wildcats. The ball bounces, and it goes out. Like the Cougs lost track of the ball for a moment. I think that was Lewis there on the back line. This will be a corner kick for Indiana Wesleyan. Final 2 minutes of the first half ticking away. 1:50 left to go. Up in the air, the header goes away from the net. And that shot goes high. Well, Taylor Keenan will enter the game for St. Francis. Low line drive kick. Cougs look to take over. Out of bounds. And I'm not sure that she didn't get pulled down there. That was James who's going after the ball. I'm not sure she wasn't pulled down. Meanwhile, this ball goes out off of Iwu. It will be a throw-in for St. Francis. That header goes out, and I think St. Francis gets the throw in, and they do. Madison Meeks will throw it in. Lewis went for it, but going for it as well was Caitlin Vander Ark. And the first half is about to come to an end. A 1-0 lead for Indiana Wesleyan at the end of the first half. Well, when we return, we will show you the game's lone goal. Brief pause here on this broadcast of St. Francis Women's Soccer, brought to you by SummitCitySports.com. Well, St. Francis is down 1-0 at halftime to Indiana Wesleyan. We'll go ahead and show you the game's lone goal thus far. It belongs to Jackie Norris, and netting this goal, Norris was able to get her 5th goal of the season. She's now the Wildcats team leader in goals. Here's a look at it. Norris, little through ball. I think that went to Folk, and then Norris went bottom shelf and got it past the diving Rachel Bova. Now, Bova's had a heck of a game in the net so far tonight, and we'll show you a few examples of that when we return. You are watching St. Francis Women's Soccer. It's brought to you by SummitCitySports.com. Well, St. Francis is down 2-0, but they've gotten plenty of good play between the pipes from Rachel Bova. I'll show you a few examples of that here on our instant replay. Long shot here by the Wildcats, and Bova able to dive right in front of it. Kind of took out her own teammate there on the play, but she's able to get the save and keep it a 1-0 game at that point. Check that. It was a scoreless game at that point. Bova had a couple of other nice saves, or nice stops, if you will. Here's a look at one of them from later on in the game. Bova looked like she had Busick pushing in and just dove right in front of her to get the stop. Bova's done that a number of times this season, but this might be her most impressive save of the game so far. Off a corner kick. The Cougars head it toward the net, and Bova with a diving stab. And she got that stab right in front of Faith Lewis. She was in close proximity when the save happened. And St. Francis is down 1-0. They've kept it close so far, but for the better part of that first half, it seemed like Indiana Wesleyan was really controlling the possessions, creating a lot of scoring opportunities for themselves. And as a result, they have a 1-0 lead. They've kept St. Francis off the scoreboard. Back in a moment here on this broadcast of St. Francis Women's Soccer, brought to you by SummitCitySports.com. Back here at Bishop Darcy Stadium, time to check in on what else is going on in St. Francis soccer. Well, the St. Francis men are in action against Indiana Wesleyan over in Marion, Indiana. The Cougs do trail that one by a score of 1-0. It was Brandon Nyagarungo from Indiana Wesleyan who gets the game's lone goal over there. And here at Bishop Darcy Stadium, the Lady Wildcats lead at 1-0 over the Lady Cougars. St. Francis going for their first conference win of the season. Their men's and women's teams are going for their first conference wins of the season. Back in a little bit, you're watching St. Francis Women's Soccer, brought to you by SummitCitySports.com. Well, we're going to go ahead and remind you of what's ahead for St. Francis women's soccer. Tonight, of course, they are home against Indiana Wesleyan. The Cougs have 2 more conference home games coming up before they go back on the road again. They'll take on Huntington this coming Wednesday. That's a 7 p.m. start, and then they'll take on Bethel a week from tonight. That's a 2 p.m. start here at Bishop Darcy Stadium. And then the Cougs will go on the road the following Saturday to take on the Grace Lancers. Grace will be here for men's soccer that day. Those 3 days that the women will be at home against Indiana Wesleyan, Huntington, and Bethel. The men will be on the road. They're on the road right now against Indiana Wesleyan. They'll be on the road against Huntington and Bethel as well. Second half will get started in about 4 minutes. You're watching St. Francis Women's Soccer, brought to you by SummitCitySports.com. St. Francis is down 1-0 as we get ready to start the second half. Lone goal so far belongs to Jackie Norris. And Indiana Wesleyan did really control the possessions for the better part of that first half. Early on, St. Francis was able to create a few opportunities, but for most of that first half, Indiana Wesleyan was able to push into the St. Francis zone and create some opportunities, including that one goal that they have scored. Jackie Norris getting her 5th goal of the season, senior from Pickerington, Ohio. As the Cougs come back out of the locker room, of course, their quote-unquote locker room is over at a house, if you will, here on campus. It looks like a house, at least. But I think it's basically the soccer building here at the University of St. Francis is what that building is used as. The visiting teams come out of the Arbroos Football Training Center. That's where they have their locker room. St. Francis kicked off to start the first half. It'll be Indiana Wesleyan kicking off to start the second half. St. Francis, very low goal-scoring season a year ago. They've seemed to have been able to score the ball more consistently. In fact, it took them, I believe, 6 games to get their first goal. The Cougs defeated Defiance 4-0 in the opener this year. So that's just one example of the fact that the Cougs haven't had very much trouble scoring the ball this year. But when you get into the meat of the conference matchups, that's when things start to get a little more challenging. Jackie Norris will set up the kickoff. Second half is underway. Indiana Wesleyan starts with the ball. And the Wildcats will now work the ball backwards to Avery Sluice. Across midfield, as Kruger leaves it back to one of her teammates, the Cougs get to the ball, get it across midfield. Swigert had a chance at it, but that's going to be a handball by the looks of things against Indiana Wesleyan. Taylor Swigert, the senior out of Fort Wayne, close to that play. Senior out of Leo, I should say. Beg your pardon, she's a freshman out of Leo High School. I believe Taylor has a younger sister or two that might still be playing soccer at Leo these days. I believe that's Jalen Carroll ready to take the free kick for the Cougs. Toward the box, header clears it. Ball's knocked away by Kruger. They get this one over to Macy Browning, but the Cougs knock it out again. That's Swigert in the area once again. It is going to be IWU ball. Browning. Knocked away by Swigert. She gets it ahead. And I believe that's Zoe Flora, who she got the ball to, but this ball's going all the way out along the end line, and it's going to be a goal kick for Indiana Wesleyan. Wildcats slow down, and then they get the ball across midfield. Carroll knocks the ball away. Kicked from behind, and that's going out. They're going to say it's off of St. Francis, and Folk with a chance. The defender's nearer, though, and the Cougs clear the ball. Sarah Folk, one of the leading scorers for Indiana Wesleyan coming into this game, giving herself a little scoring chance there, but St. Francis ready for it. Meanwhile, we'll have another throw-in, or check that a free kick perhaps. Gonna walk it all the way up to what technically is the 39-yard line. And this is number 21, Kendall Glover, a graduate student, taking the free kick. Into the box, and the Cougs headed out of there. That ball's going high in the air and wide of the net, up on the hill almost. Actually, it did go up on the hill. The Wildcats knocked that one out of bounds. This will be a throw-in for St. Francis. I think that went off of Tobin before it went out, so this time the throw-in goes to Iwu. A takeaway by the Wildcats. I believe that was Kruger who got it. This one's going to be scooped up by Bova. Taken back by the Wildcats. They get the ball to Browning. And that looked like a push down, and there's the call. Taylor Swigert looked like she pushed down Sydney Couch. And this will be a free kick for Indiana Wesleyan as Kendall Glover, graduate student from High Point, North Carolina, sets it up. Goes high. Wesleyan wanted the header, did not get it. That shot goes behind the goal. But it looks like it's going to be a corner kick for Indiana Wesleyan. Mallory Kruger will go to put it in play. She's got Browning just in front of the goal. That went off the back of somebody's head from St. Francis, it looked like. It does go out of bounds, but this is going to be another corner kick. And it looks like Kruger's going to go all the way over to the opposite side of the field to handle this corner kick. Kruger, a graduate student out of Mallory Park, Kansas. Overland Park, Kansas. Her first name is Mallory. Shot high and off the upright. Kind of a college soccer doink there. That upright is out of play, so it's going to be a goal kick for St. Francis. Looks like Kirsten Parker is going to handle the free kick, or the goal kick rather, for the Cougs. Browning pushing just outside the box. Got a defender on her. And did Browning touch that on the way out? No, she did not. It was touched last by St. Francis. believe that's Kruger taking the kick from the corner. Knocked away by Bova. Will that stay in? It's kept in by the Wildcats, and that ball's deflected out. This will be a throw-in for the Wildcats. 53rd minute here at Bishop Darcy Stadium. As the Cougs go for the takeaway, that looked like Meeks who got a foot on the ball. It deflects off of Lewis. Back to chase that one down is Kruger. Browning the shot off the post and bounces out. Well, that's worth another look. We'll show it to you right here on our instant replay. Macy Browning looked like she might sneak it in, but it hits off the post, and St. Francis catches a bit of a break there. Wildcats look to get another chance as that's taken away by Kendall Glover. She sends that one back to Alyssa Heyman. Heyman in the middle of the field. Long kick down the field. They get this one to Glover. Or at least I thought that was Glover initially. It might have actually been Kruger, number 17. Cougs keep it in play. Browning goes for it. She gets to the ball. And there she finds Glover. But now the Cougs come back the other way. Swigert on the near side. Swigert looking to change direction. Goes through the legs. And that's cleared out by Iwu. It'll be a throw-in for St. Francis. But Swigert trying to create a goal there went right through the legs of the defender. We'll give you another look at this. Well, that's the back end of it, but that was Glover kind of holding her off to the end. As Haley Roberson will look to throw it in. Ball gets loose, and did that go off the goalie? It's a corner kick for St. Francis. It went off Sluice before it went out. And Courtney Tobin will set up the corner kick. As the Cougs look to knot up the scoreboard. Back toward Tobin, knocked away. Alyssa Heyman was in the area. Oh, it might have been Jackie Norris who knocked it away, but Bova sends this one back the other way. Thought there were whistles for a second there, but we play on. And that ball went out. I think the Cougs just ran out of room over there. Throw in for Indiana Wesleyan. Toward the sideline, will it stay in? It does stay in, but not for long. Wesleyan with another chance. That's knocked out. Throw-in coming up for Iwu. Deflected in the air, and this one's going out. No, it's going to stay in. Wildcats do keep it in. That's Kruger trying to keep it in. And this is going to be a corner kick for the Wildcats. Kruger, the graduate student out of Overland Park, Kansas. Looks to create a scoring chance for IWU. She gets it in. Couple Wildcats around, and they score, and I think that was Norris again. Well, let's take a look at it on our instant replay. Ball bounces off a couple of players, and yep, it's Norris. Second goal of the game for Jackie Norris, the senior out of Pickerington, Ohio. She's got 6 goals on the season. Well, it seemed like Indiana Wesleyan had the momentum toward the end of the first half, and they've really rode that momentum here into the second half. St. Francis had a couple of scoring opportunities, but they've not been able to get the ball in the net. And now Norris adds to IWU's lead. Back to Roberson. Roberson's the leading goal scorer for St. Francis so far this season and going for her 5th goal of the season there, but it goes wide of the net and out of bounds. St. Francis was held scoreless against Taylor on Wednesday, trying to avoid a similar fate tonight in their conference home opener. Avery Sluice sets up the goal kick, and Indiana Wesleyan's just going to run it up, as opposed to the conventional run up and kick. That ball gets loose and goes into the box. Bova will scoop it up, or rather kick it out rather easily. Did we have a foul there against Indiana Wesleyan? Or offsides, perhaps, might have been the call. Well, it's going to be a free kick for St. Francis. Cleared out by the Wildcats. Cougars will get a throw in. Roberson throws it in. Lewis gets it back to her. Cougs looked like they had a takeaway for a second there. Ball's loose again. Flora came away with it at first. And that one's back to the back portion of the field. Haley Wesley, or rather Kirsten Parker, sends it toward the far side. Little through ball does not get through. Header back the other way by the Cougs. That's going to go out off St. Francis right to that Glenbrook Dodge sign. They pass this one over to Glover. Glover with a long kick into the box, and Bova's right there to knock it down, and she's got it. Another look at this one. There you see the back end of it. It was an impressive save by Bova. She's had several of them. Unfortunately, her team is on the losing end of the scoreboard. Swigert trying to get free. She gets to the ball. But apparently there was a call against Indiana Wesleyan, so it's going to be a free kick for St. Francis. Parker sends it down the field. Browning waits on the ball. Now she sends it the other way, trying to set something up, but Cougs knock it out of bounds. Kirsten Parker comes into the game. My apologies, I thought she was in earlier. I thought I saw 23 in the game not too long ago. Taylor Archbold, the former Homestead Spartan, comes in for IWU. They throw this one into Jada Swanson. Swanson's native of Elkhart, Indiana. I think that's about an hour and a half west of Fort Wayne. Back the other way come the Wildcats. Shot deflected by the Cougs. The shot taken by Madeline Welker. That'll go out of bounds right to Ken Newber, and the Cats will throw it in. Kendall Glover to throw it in for the Wildcats. She gets that one in to Dylan Gonzalez. Swigert got to it, but the Cats take it away. That's number 14, Alyssa Heyman, sophomore out of Cary, Illinois. Kept in play for now. Cats get the ball over to number 18, Morgan Busick. Back over to Glover. Glover, little through ball there. Move back to the right by Stella DeSmit. Busick leaves it to the outside. Browning went for the header, couldn't quite get a good angle on it. Back to Browning. She takes the shot, and that is high. Might have even been wide right as well. And a Pettit will come back into the game for the Wildcats. Cleared by the Cougs, and that's going to stay in for now, but not for long. Goes out right in front of Swigert and the Cougar bench. Throw in by Anna Pettit. Early on, Pettit and Swigert were on each other quite a bit. Pettit mainly guarding Swigert. So the Cougs had some opportunities down the field early in the ball game, but could not get the ball in the net. And Indiana Wesleyan leads it 2-0. Sluice comes out. It's headed towards the goal, but cleared by the Wildcats. Courtney Tobin will throw it in. I think that was Swigert who was pushing toward the net with a chance to score. It's the 67th minute here at Darcy Stadium. Soon to be the 68th minute. Quick throw in to Swigert. Tobin with not a lot of room. That ball's deflected. And that's going to go wide. And I beg your pardon, I believe that was Odessa Alvarez, freshman out of Convoy, Ohio. And it will be Sluice to set up the kick. Pettit sends it back. Sluice boots it short of midfield, and the Cougars take the ball away. That looked like Roberson. But the Wildcats get back. Deflected off Roberson, and whistles will blow here. Free kick coming up for St. Francis. Browning gets to the ball. Cougs try to keep it in play, and it will be off of the Wildcats. I think that was Carroll who went for the ball for St. Francis. It'll be Haley Roberson to throw it in. Roberson is the leading goal scorer so far for St. Francis on the season. Roberson fires into the box. Ball gets loose. Deflected a couple of different times by the Cats. Bounces toward the box and into the box, and the Cougars still looking to create an opportunity. Sent forward by Tobin. Header by Lewis. Browning gets the ball. Over to Pettit. Taylor Keenan pushing toward the ball. They get it back to Pettit. That header goes out of bounds. Iwu will throw it in. Browning. Ball gets away, but the closest one there is Alyssa Heyman, and that's knocked out of bounds. It's going to be a throw-in for St. Francis. And on the throw-in, the Cougs will get some subs into the game. I believe that's number 28, Holly Thomas, coming in. Check that. It was Odessa Alvarez who came in, taking the place of Taylor Keenan. Header, and that's nowhere close. It's going to be an easy scoop for Sluice. Roberson battling for the ball, and the Wildcats knock it out of bounds. Roberson got a little tangled up there with Browning, I think. Sluice boots it across midfield. That ball gets loose. That's going to go out of bounds, and it'll be a throw in for the Wildcats. Caitlin Vander Ark, who also came in as one of Indiana Wesleyan's 3 leading scorers. She came in with 4 goals on the season, along with Sarah Folk and Jackie Norris. Norris has 2 goals so far in this game, one in the first half, one in the second. Shot right at Bova. It was Welker who took the shot, and then Bova's able to dive on top of it. That's kept in play, but kicked right to Roberson. Back to Tobin. Left-footed pass. That gets through some traffic. It's going to be scooped up by Avery Sluice. Little takeaway from behind. That was Keenan who took it away. Oh, my goodness. Matiah James lost her footing. Going for the pass or going for the shot, perhaps. And Indiana Wesleyan comes up with the ball. 16 minutes to play here at Darcy Stadium. St. Francis trying to get their first conference win of the season. They did not get a conference win all of last year. Left-footed pass into the box. Ball gets loose. And is that staying in? It is. As Glover gets to the ball. Glover with the left foot. And that's going way high. And wide left. That one's into the parking lot. Well, the guys who are retrieving the balls may have to, or would have to go out onto the parking lot to get that one. Have to leave the stadium and come back. Goal kick here for St. Francis. We're in the 75th minute here at Darcy Stadium. Another chance perhaps as Welker works her way around and gets the ball into the box. Cleared by the Cougs, and this will be a corner kick by the looks of things as Caitlin Vander Ark had a chance there. Vander Ark, one of the leading scorers coming into this game for Indiana Wesleyan. She did not start today, though. High in the air. That'd be a long header. Doesn't go. And Bova will just watch that one go through the uprights. Rachel Bova, a graduate of Carroll High School. Charger football team won on the road against Wayne last night. Chargers started their regular season at 0-2, and they've won their last 4, including a big win against Snyder last week. But again, they went to Wayne and knocked off the Generals this week. Whistles blow on the kick. Ken Newber shouting up to the press box that the clock should be stopped. It is stopped right now at 13:40. Getting word that the clock needs to be reset to 14:10. And now the clock has been reset. Bovo with a short kick up to Roberson. And that was nearly kept in play by the Cougars, but it goes just out of bounds, just over the head of, I think, Tobin. Swigert battles for the ball. It's taken away by Sydney Stott. Little push there by Archbold. Taken from behind by the Cougs. Taken right back by Anna Pettit. Pettit keeps it in. Pushes down the field. Little through ball. She gets it to Stott. Stott has it deflected. Did the Cougs get the save? They did. Bova fell on top of it. That was an interesting sequence. Was that Haley Wesley who ran into her? Another quick look at this on the instant replay. Well, we're going to have to go back to live action because St. Francis has moved the ball into the IWU zone. They don't have a goal yet, but looking to get on the board as Tobin awaits to throw it in. Now she's just going to let Roberson throw it in. Roberson's kind of the throw-in specialist for St. Francis. Come to one of these games, you're usually going to see her throw the ball in. She fires it into the box. Header goes backwards, and it's cleared. And scooped up by Avery Sluice. And Sluice will punt this one away. Going backwards is Pettit. The through ball doesn't get through, but Swigert gets to it. Trying to go back to Swigert. It's knocked away. Tobin continues to hustle after it, but the Wildcats get the possession. Sydney Stott. And Stott with a long kick down the field. Roberson was back there. That'll go out, and it looks like it's going to be a throw-in for IWU. Roberson clears. Down the field, that's kept in for now. Sent backwards by Alyssa Heyman. That was close to a handball. I thought for a second there that Welker might have touched it with her fingertips. Cats keep it in play. I believe that's Welker again. Now check that. It's number 20, Caitlin Vander Ark. Cougs slow that down. It's the 80th minute here at Bishop Darcy Stadium. St. Francis 0-1 in conference play with a loss to Taylor back on Wednesday, trying to bounce back from that. But they'll need to put together a come-from-behind effort to do so. Pettit. Short pass up across midfield. A little collision there right near the 40-yard line. And do we have a whistle? We do. Or no, we don't. Looked like everybody had just stopped for a second there, thinking that there might be a whistle, but there was none. We play on. Pettit has it knocked away, kept in play by Stott. Stott trying to get through traffic. She finds Pettit. Pettit across. Kept alive for now by the Wildcats. Swigert gets the takeaway. Knocked away by Strasser. Back to Heyman. Swigert, defender honor. That's going to be knocked out by Pettit. Some subs come into the game for St. Francis. Odessa Alvarez, one of the subs to check into the game for the Cougs. Clock currently sits at 8:04. And again, Neuber was calling earlier for the clock to be stopped. I'm not sure if it needs to be reset. Looks like it is being reset, and there's you have your answer. 8:10 is the time that should be on the clock, and now is on the clock. Kept in play. That's going to go out of bounds, or did it already go out? I think it already went out before it was kicked. Sydney Stott to throw it in. Roberson. That ball went off of St. Francis before it went out. This will be a throw-in for Sydney Stott. Stott sends it back to Glover. Wildcats looking to create a scoring chance here, and that's cleared to the sideline. Cats get to it. Turn to the right. That shot's deflected by the Cougs, and it'll be knocked to the sideline. Back to Glover. Lewis knocked it away, and that's redirected by St. Francis. Left-footed shot, wide left. Put back in play by Bova. Scooped up by Sluice. And she punts it away. Roberson finds a teammate across midfield. Toward the middle. Shot wide left. Diving effort there by Bova, but it remains 2-0. Wildcats will send in some substitutions. Jackie Norris, one of those subs who comes back in the game. Clock is stopped at 4:23. Stott pushes. That one's knocked away. Knocked away by Caitlin Vander Ark. Vander Ark came into this game with 4 goals. She was tied for the leading goals scored with 2 other Wildcats. One of those was Jackie Norris. Norris has both goals in this game, so she's now got 6 for the season. Shot wide left. Shot looked like it was taken by Stott. And we've got less than 4 minutes to play. Daniel Seifert, the head coach for Indiana Wesleyan, is in his 7th season as head coach. Meanwhile, we're going to get a corner kick here for St. Francis as they try to get something on the board late in this game. Cougs have yet to get a goal in conference play this year. They were shut out 7-0 by Taylor on Wednesday night. Seifert in his time at Indiana Wesleyan has 171 wins to 104 losses. A header does not go in. That shot goes long and wide. Goal kick coming up for Indiana Wesleyan as we are now just over 2 minutes to play. Of course, Ken Neuber in his second stint as the head coach for the Cougars. I believe he won 6 conference titles in his first stint, back when the Crossroads League was still called the Mid-Central College Conference. That shot goes wide. Neuber was the one that started the girls' soccer program here at St. Francis. After he had been a head coach for the boys' team. Loose ball, Norris gets to it. Norris, the shot, diving save, Bova. Well, despite the 2-0 lead for IWU, Bova's had a pretty good night between the pipes. Unfortunately, the Cougs not able to net anything of their own. We've got under a minute to play here at Bishop Darcy Stadium. St. Francis trying to get something in the final now 48 seconds and counting. Kruger sends it down the field. That's going to be knocked toward the sideline. Well, even if that had gone out, it doesn't help the Cougs all that much because it keeps the clock running. Pettit across midfield. The left-footed kick. Ball gets loose in the box. That shot deflected, and this game is about to end with Indiana Wesleyan as the winner. Well, St. Francis with a good start to their season in non-conference play, but they drop to 0-2 in conference play. A 7-0 loss to Taylor on Wednesday and a 2-0 loss to Indiana Wesleyan tonight. Well, our Parkview Sports Medicine player of the game is going to be Rachel Bova. Great night between the pipes. Did give up the 2 goals, but a lot of great saves. Really slowed down a lot of IWU opportunities. Rachel Bova, your Parkview Sports Medicine player of the game. That's going to do it from here at Bishop John M. Darcy Stadium. Indiana Wesleyan defeats St. Francis 2-0. For my cameraman, Matt Jackson, this is Thad Goff saying so long from Darcy Stadium. You've been watching St. Francis Women's Soccer here on SummitCitySports.com.